Hello, everybody. Welcome back to SnowRunner Hard Mode, episode 6. Just finished editing episode 5, so that should be online. But while that's rendering and doing its uploading thing, I'm going to make a start and recording the next episode. And what I've decided to do, this episode will be mostly a scouting episode because we want some upgrades. So what I've decided to do is we left this Chevy truck in the northwest corner of the map near the tunnel to Smithville. We took the Scout 800 in the last episode through to Smithville and put it in the garage. We're going to do the same and take this Chevy through, and that is because we had a look for where the upgrades are, and I'll drop a link to this in the description. I guess a lot of people that are playing the game are aware of this site, but I've found a site called maprunner.info, which is fantastic, and it maybe breaks immersion a little bit, but this isn't an RP series. I'm talking quite a lot about game mechanics on this series and so on. So I'm quite happy to talk about the fact that I had a look for where the differential lock is for this track, and it's on this map in Smithville. So between this Scout and the 800, International 800, we're going to grab some upgrades here, and this is also the closest garage for me to fit upgrades. So I'm bringing the Chevy through. We may take the Scout out to explore rather than the Chevy. We'll see. But yeah, we're gonna pick up a couple of watchtowers because it's quite near the start, and it just seems having a diff lock on this Chevy would make a huge difference to our ability to scout out the more difficult parts of the other map and this map. So I think the Chevy will remain our main scout vehicle, but I think this is the place to unlock what I care about as the next most important upgrade for it. So we'll jump in the garage. We've got the International Scout 800 already in the garage, and the Chevy. And I also remembered that we picked up a raised suspension for the Chevy. So we'll install that. We'll sell the stock suspension for $950. Give us a little bit of money towards potentially. Now that we've done the raised suspension, we can put some big old tires on this. And the combination of those big tires plus getting diff lock will make this a much more capable truck. So $2,500 for those tires. I know I want them, so I'm going to buy them. Money's not too bad. We'll sell these tires. That gets me $1,250 back, so not quite. Yeah, half of what I paid. Was it $2,500? I've only just bought them and I've forgotten. Yeah, 20. So anyway, we've got some nice big tires on there. I also remembered that we picked up the 5.2. I'm not going to sell the 4 litre. I'm not going to sell the 4 litre because this 5.2 may be so thirsty that we can't afford to run it, or it reduces the range of the vehicle significantly. But yeah, that makes this a pretty substantial upgrade to the truck, and I do want that diff lock. And on the map, I believe that to be based on the Map Runner website here somewhere. But what I'm going to do is we'll go and find the 2 watchtowers that open up this corner of the map. That one of these 2 watchtowers should highlight where the upgrade is, and then we'll go and get the upgrade. And then partly to give it a bit of a trial, I'm not actually going to, but mostly because it's got a diff lock, I'm not going to take the Chevy. I'm going to take the little Scout, and I'm going to see how it does. And if I end up having to rescue it with a Chevy, then that'll be answered. Bearing in mind that this has got a always on diff lock, and it's got all-wheel drive option already installed, but no other upgrades. This is basically as we found it on the top of that hill. I suppose, to be fair, giving it better tyres would help. But then I'm going to lose 1,000 if and when I sell them. Because this is another one. Oh, this can take up to 39s. If you've got the race suspension for it. It does effectively lose me 1,000 if I choose to sell these later. But I'm going to do that because I think that'll help for this. And then I'll sell these, which recoup some of that. But at least they're not high wide tyres. And then now, without any other changes, yeah, I could afford a roof rack, but I'm not going to put it on just yet. That'll make it quite top heavy. We'll take this one out and we'll do a little bit of exploring on this map. So roughly my route is going to be here, down through this piece, here, and find that watchtower to start with. Starting to get dark, let's put some lights on. Neither of these vehicles has got the autonomous winch yet. I'm going to leave this in all-wheel drive, I think, this type of drive. So if I roll one of them, the other one's going to have to come rescue it. Oh, what did I just do? What did I just say? Literally. I feel that's a little bit harsh. That wasn't much of a hill, but there we go. I can't pull this back on to its wheels. I need to get the Chevy straight away. What is it about the start of episodes? The Chevy also is a little bit low on fuel. And it's got that bigger engine in it now, which I know will be more thirsty. So this is already, because it's got bigger tyres and race suspension, this is definitely already more top heavy than it was. So maybe I should have been in first person, actually, in third person, actually looking at what's happening. But I'm going to go and get some fuel. I know the fuel station is down not too far from the tunnel. So we'll top up with fuel first, before then going and recovering that tipped Scout. I'm not judging the Scout for that. I obviously did something wrong, but I should have been looking, going through those rocks. I'm not going to accuse it of being tippy just yet. I was driving, it's my fault. Let's just check the map. Yeah, the fuel station's here. Could kind of do with getting to that other truck from below. So we will come back to the, yeah, we'll do it this way. But let's get some fuel first. So this is £2 per litre, $2 per litre, pounds, dollars. 2 units of currency per litre. So that's town prices, not wilderness prices, which is nice to know. So fill that one up. While we're here, we might as well tag this task. What is this task? Our first task in this zone. Rescue somebody's trailer for $1,900. And not a bad chunk of XP. Just out of interest, our XP... Yeah, so we need just over 500 XP to make our next level. And we need a few levels to start getting interesting tyre unlocks for the bigger vehicles. Let's check the map out. Okay, so the lost trailer is just down here, but we're not going to go off-road for that just yet. We're going to follow this road. Probably do the watchtower in this truck and then come back and get the scout. All-wheel drive because we are going off-road. I'm leaving it in... Well, it's getting dark, which is typical, but I'm leaving it in third person just so that I can see if it rolls, what causes it. But it's going to be these stones, isn't it? If you happen to be tilting one way and hit a stone on the other side, this is a danger. Coming to places like this without a dip lock. Trying to avoid the muddy rut as much as I can by getting my wheels up on the right. Alright, bit of a puddle. We'll try and go left of it if we can, hover near the trees. Don't really want to be wading through that water. Don't think we've fitted a snorkel to this truck yet. So if I'd have had the autonomous winch mod, or add-on rather, not a mod. If I'd have had the autonomous winch, that little scout, I'm pretty sure there was a tree nearby that could have recovered it. Look at that lighting. I'm just going to take a moment there. That lighting with the autumnal trees and dusk coming in. Well done, developers. Right, so the truck is up this road, but we're going to go and get the watchtower first because it will give us a bit of visibility of what else is in the area. I love the physics of the driving element of this game, including the fact that physics keeps letting me tip trucks over. But I love the physics. I love the mechanic of how you drive the game, how the trucks interact with the environment. But I also think whoever was responsible for the aesthetics of the environment deserves a good round of applause. Very impressive. Right, so watchtower, handbrake, engine off, bit of XP, and cutscene. guitar riff there. So, decision. Do I carry on exploring with this? So what is that? So there's an upgrade there that it's found me. That's fairly easy to get to from the garage, I think. In one of these trucks anyway. More tasks. Some fallen rocks, so there's a road there that I'll have to clear before I can really do the upgrade too efficiently. That lost trailer is the one that we tagged already. Other watchtower down over this water, which I don't really want to. I don't know how boggy that is. I don't remember how boggy that is. So I think it's Chevy recovers the Scout, and then we see. I feel that little Scout was a bit hard done by, but I did put bigger tyres on it. And maybe I just made it too unstable for the type of driving I was doing in it, which was not really careful driving. Drop this in a low ratio. Because what I don't want to do, if I tip this one over, then I'm going to have to pay to recover one of them. A bit of winch assistance. Alright, so there's our Scout. We can just about see. I can just about see the Turtle Scout. Handbrake on. Let's grab a winch onto the high side and see if we can pull it. Whoa. Disconnect the winch because I don't want it pulling. I've just done more damage. Done good there, really. Set the engine off. Change into the Scout. And it's rolling down the hill like a marble. What's going on? Engine on. There we go, back on our wheels, almost as if nothing happened. I'm going to leave the Chevy there for a minute, and I'm going to carry on with this one. But I'm going to put its lights on. That's a fairly decent illumination. I'm going to put its lights on, and I'm going to drive it in third person and be a bit more careful. But I'm a little bit nervous. It's my fault that it tipped in the first place, but it looked pretty unstable in the recovery there. It just seemed to roll like it was a ball. So we'll see how this one does with a bit more careful driving. Let's work out where it is we need to go. We're going to go to the watchtower and then down this rocky track to here and see if we can get through those trees and whatever that mud is to this track to grab that watchtower on top of the next hill in the middle of this water area. And the little Scout is going to do fine. There won't be any more problems. This episode will proceed. I was going to say to plan, but I don't know if it's much of a plan. But it will proceed without any more tippy incidents. It feels more bouncy, I know, and it hasn't got as the tyres are smaller than the ones we put on the Chevy, and this hasn't got its raised suspension add-on yet, customization. So this feels pretty unstable in comparison to the Chevy already, but let's persevere. Let's just make sure I know where the road is. Road. Not even a track really, is it? It's just an area that previously vehicles have made wheel ruts. Still, careful, careful. It's fun. I'm not going to say it's not fun, but it feels pretty unstable in comparison. Oh, bit of engine damage. Just back it off that tree. Realistically, I would be in low ratio and taking it a bit slower. But I'm trying to make enough progress per episode, and it's probably making me drive a bit more erratic than I would do if I wasn't recording. Right, low ratio. We don't want to be stuck. There's a little bit of mud, and then we get onto that stony area, we'll be fine. I don't think what's it. I don't think there's anything to winch to in front. No. So the only thing I've got to winch to is behind me. But I'll do it off the tail of the vehicle, because then as I'm trying to drive forward, the winch can just adjust my line a little bit. Winch is now disconnected. So it is creeping forward very slightly. Again, I'm just trying to wiggle the tail enough to maybe get a bit of traction. Now. Okay. So I know I can basically winch myself back out because there's plenty of trees behind me. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to see if there's perhaps a better line that I should be trying to do to get through there. It's all just mud. Maybe if I try to go to the right. Maybe if I went over those stones, but that's another tip hazard, I think. There we go. That was a better line. Slightly shallower mud. And this is lovely solid stuff. Get those couple of Christmas trees. Very dark for anybody viewing this, and I apologise for that, but as I've said before, hard mode doesn't let me artificially change it back to daylight for the sake of videos. Hard mode it just is, you play the time, you play the game time. It is currently 1:30 AM, and so obviously in a bit it'll turn into, get to morning again, but I can't time travel. If anybody's played this in campaign mode, normally you could time travel to 6 a.m. if you wanted to, and it would be daylight. I can't do that. So I need to go off-road, more or less, up through these trees to get to that watchtower, because there's no actual path to that watchtower. It's just on top of the hill. So we're going to turn right and go up through the trees. Just try and find the route through. There's a kind of physics glitch thing that happens on the branches of these trees. They seem to be super sticky and a lot stronger than you might think they should be. In comparison to other trees that you can just knock over. So there is a thing there to be aware of. Low ratio crawling up the hill. And then after this watchtower, the next, and hopefully this watchtower will uncover the upgrade that my research tells me should be the diff lock of the Chevy. So, cutscene. Nice view of the dam. Would have been a nice view in the daylight, I suppose. Right, so upgrade up on top of the hill. While I'm up here, I should probably try and get it, but I believe that this is the thing that I actually mostly care about, because that's the diff lock. I'm not sure what this one is, but I think while we're here, we might as well get this one and then back down the hill to try and get across this bit of what is probably a bit of boggy land, but try and get to that upgrade, get the diff lock on our other truck, and then we should be pretty good to go. So we're gonna go back down to the road, onto here, up this one, to here, here, here. A bit of daylight starting to creep in. It's still quite dark, but fixer-upper. That sounds like a truck. Just out of interest, what's that then? Fixer-upper. I remember. Oh yeah, that's a. I don't remember the exact model of the truck, but I seem to remember that was one that I quite liked driving. But it's a lorry, as in it's a big truck, so we're not going to be pulling it out with a little Scout. Right, I'm going to turn this around safely. It's maybe easier said than done. Try and turn it around on this flat bit at the top. Got some bodywork damage where I rolled it down the hill, and I think you can only fix bodywork damage by paying for it in the garage. But it took some damage when it was being tossed down the hill like a marble. Risk going back into first person now. But I'll kick myself if it rolls over, and I don't understand why again. Bit bumpy. I think this justifies keeping all-wheel drive on. How's our fuel? 48. So we are not too bad at the moment. Tunnel. I think we can spare this that slight diversion to grab this. This wasn't an upgrade that I intended to come to, but it's close enough that it would be silly not to while I'm here with a scout. There we go. Just popped up as a marker because we got close enough. Get the upgrade. So this is engage. So this is a diff lock for something. For the GMC. Okay, so this is the diff lock for the GMC, but I still think we're going to sell the GMC because the all-wheel drive for it is in Kola Peninsula, which is too far away for me. And just to explain that, Kola Peninsula on the global map is, as I understand it, so I haven't played this game before Phase 6. So, but as I understand it, Michigan, Alaska, and Tamir, or Russia, are the original base game areas, and then the rest of this is all DLC. So Kola Peninsula, there's a garage I could travel to if I had enough money to deploy vehicles. And then there's this zone, but I haven't looked on Map Runner as to exactly where that GMC all-wheel drive thing is. And I don't think I'll be going there anytime soon. Probably explained that to death, but there was another Chevy on this map. Oh yeah, that's true, I remember that. There's another Chevy that we could buy and keep and upgrade if we wanted to. And that's the thing, I never bothered having multiple versions of the same vehicle before. But it might be economically the best option to have two well-equipped versions of the same vehicle in different regions and just leave them there as the scout for that region, so you don't have to pay deployment costs each time you want to move between regions. So we may end up picking that Chevy up and keeping it rather than just selling it like I did before. So now what we're going to do is work out, turn around, back down to the road. I think, that looks a bit, back down to the road, possibly try and see a way of getting down onto this beach looking area. Wonder if we can, it's probably safest just to do this somewhere down here. Maybe grab that task while we're there and then come here and try and get over to the upgrade. Yeah, I think that's probably, looking at the map, which is quite accurate in terms of tree density and so on in my experience. I think that's the way to do it. Engine on. Turn it around up here and then backtrack down the hill. I think I drove down that in my other save and it didn't go well. It did not end well at all. I'll stick this into low and try and have a more controlled descent. That's too slow, that's boring, isn't it? Pretty much back on the road now. Sky's lightening up, dawn is arriving. I still haven't decided. I'm slightly minded to start editing chunks where I'm just like driving and it's boring, I honestly won't edit out the stupid stuff I do, like tipping trucks over, because it's content, frankly. But I am slightly minded to, in order to allow enough progress that this season, if I was to try and do 100% completion, this is hundreds of episodes, and that would be crazy, I think. So if I don't edit it out, it would be hundreds of episodes. So I don't know how to do time lapses. I don't think the editing software that I'm using on my MacBook is particularly good. So I haven't found any better editing software that's not crazy expensive at the moment. But yeah, I think I think I'll end up, the most sensible thing to do will be to edit out at least the bits where I'm just driving to a destination to do something. Find an antenna. And the antenna tower. Okay. That's a side task we'll worry about another time. So yeah, at the moment, this is going to be, when it's edited and uploaded, episode 6, I think. And I play quite a lot. I don't really think that everything that I do will be interesting to watch. So I don't know. At the moment, I'm just going to stick to just play everything, upload everything, and treat it as raw. But at some point, I suspect that it'd be better off if I edit out some of the tedious bits where I'm crawling along in mud for 3 miles an hour for 20 minutes. That doesn't make much of an episode. Right, I'm going to switch into third person so I've got a slightly better viz of this land spit that I'm trying to go across. Rocky rather than muddy, that's a little bit reassuring so far. But I don't have a snorkel, so I can't go wading too deep. But I can see the upgrade. Well, it's where my waypoint is, but I can also see the yellow circle. What I don't want to do is roll sideways into this water, because this truck engine won't cope. Ooh, I don't like this, I don't like this. Low ratio. If I got into the trees, is there a... Yeah, I'm not sure that I can do this with this truck. I suspect this is just a recipe to get stuck again. Get a winch on. What I want to do is get a winch on that tree. So that I can stop myself tipping sideways. Winch off. Just for safety purposes. a winch onto that tree, because if I keep the winch tight, that should stop me rolling into the water, which is the thing I'm worried about. Then the winch off. That was a bit hairy. Engine off. And so engageable diff lock, not for the current vehicle. Truck list, Chevy. Brilliant. So that's the thing that we really wanted. I do owe it to this little scout to try and get it back on the road and back out of here and back up to the gas station. But it has achieved the thing I wanted, which is get me that diff lock. And it'd be there, back in the gas station. And the road is pretty close. That's not too bad. Hopefully. He says. No. Stop rolling. I'm a demon with this, aren't I? Right, what I meant to do there, I got onto the wrong winch point with the quick winch, which is a thing that happens quite often. What I meant to do there is grab that tree, which is the other side of the road, and therefore, by definition, pretty safe. Because once I'm on the relatively flat bit of road, this truck should be more than capable. A little bit of extra body damage. Ooh. Yeah, I've picked up a branch. That's funny. I've picked up a branch that's coming through the cab and slightly I wonder if is that visible inside? Yeah, it is. It's visible inside as well. Not quite clipping in the same way as it looks like from outside, but that's yeah. My driver's trying to ignore the fact that he's got a branch poking into the side of his head. Well, I haven't really driven the Chevy much since I raised its suspension and put big tyres on it, so I'm not going to say that it's this truck that's unstable. It might just be high Scouts that are unstable. But, because these are kind of balloon-ish all-terrain tyres with a bias towards mud, and I'm not using them in mud at the moment, so yeah, I'm not gonna blame the truck. It's definitely me driving, but I don't. We'll see what the Chevy's like when we get back to base and put the diff lock in it and low ratio for all of this. Quick winch is so useful when it attaches to the right side. I think the engine is the thing that's holding me back a little bit here. I think it hasn't got enough horsepower to drive it. Whereas again, the Chevy has had the engine upgrade. It's got a 5.2 litre in there I'm assuming it's liters. I don't know what I don't know what how Americans measure engines. It's I'm looking at the number system on in the game. It seems like European it's like V8 and 5.2. I don't know why I'm talking when I should be trying to work out how to drive, but I don't want to do me. But I always thought American engines were measured in cubic inches. Because you wouldn't expect it to be the metric system. I know bits of the metric system have crept their way into American life, but I didn't think that engines had. So I'm going to carry on assuming that they mean 5.2 litre. Because that makes sense to what I have in the past been familiar with. What? No, 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 no. It doesn't want to go up that last bit, but I may be asking too much of it. Am I even... Maybe I'd have been better off going left and trying to go up that bit. Well, that just looks like stone. It's no good going to the right of those trees because that's got a bit of barrier on it. Try and get back to where I was, which is this side of the truck winched to that tree. The way that the trees ghost as well can be a bit distracting sometimes, but and then what I was trying to do is, if I can stop there, I want to see if it's possible to winch. See, I think I would be connecting the winch to that bit of barrier, but it's not going to let me. So I need to winch. I'm going to try and do the tail there and see if that will pull me up enough. Nope, 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 nope. And now I'm pointing the wrong way completely. Well done, Atlee. Stop. Alright. That looks okay. That may have been a tactical. No, it wasn't. I'm not going to claim that I did that on purpose. But I'm going to see if I can go up this route instead. Going straight up there is beyond the engine. I tried that because I'm pretty sure the Chevy would just run up that hill and bounce over the top and land on the road and say, "Ta-da, I'm here." But I think this thing's got quite low horsepower in comparison. But look, that's the route I should have been doing in the first place then. Scout out your route, have a look at where, but it is difficult to do that with the camera controls. There's only so far you can pan the camera in this game. You can't zoom out any more than I am right now. The trees clip in the way and affect your camera view. I'm getting low on fuel, so I want to get back to the gas station and fill this up, and then probably take it to the garage. But I've not found this a particularly soothing vehicle to drive for this type of scout work, so I don't know. It's days. I'll compare the... So I'm having to pay for fuel. Just because I haven't found the trailer in this zone yet. I'll take it back to garage. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can just park it here. Won't do any harm to park it here. I know where it is. Engine off. Because I want to wrap this episode, but before I do that, I want to get my... Oh, the Chevy. I didn't leave the Chevy there, did I? I left the Chevy where I rescued the other one. So the Chevy's here. And I want to get it back to garage and fit that dip lock. So it's not far away. Just got to drive back up through the thing that tipped over the... Oh, no. No. Oh. Trying to get a winch on. Oh, that's a beautiful way to be wedged between two big rocks. Winch here to there. Drive myself sideways a bit. Just call me Tipper. No ratio. Not sure what I'm winched onto there. Something in the rocks. You. So once the low ratio is on, we've got race suspension, we've got the big engine, which may or may not be a good thing based on the cost of fuel. But we've got the race suspension, big all-terrain wheels, but off-road wheels or mud tyres, depending on the environment, would be better. But I need to level up for that. The next thing would be a better gearbox. So we got the custom engine, because I haven't sold the 4 litre yet. The SnowRunner gearbox is nice because it gives you more low range options. Race suspension is on. 38 ASs are on. We just got the engageable, which is nice, and we're going to sell that because we'll never want the unlockable bit. And then I think, to be honest, I should put, although it's taking my money down a little bit, I should put the autonomous scout. I want to earn some money to get the autonomous scout. But I think in the meantime, I'll earn money safer if I've got a snorkel. Yep. So I'm down to $4,400 and need to now be a bit careful about how I spend anymore. The roof rack extends my range. The small roof rack is quite good. Level 5 isn't too far away. I always felt it was a bit unfair that the large roof rack is level 14. That's quite high. Probably by the time you've unlocked that, you've found better scout vehicles. But anyway. Tell you what, while we're doing this, why don't we... Don't need any... I'm not going to spend money on bumpers and things, I don't think, but seeing as though it's free, why don't we give it a paint job? And we'll use the DLC paint job because it looks a bit Terminator-ish, a bit cool. Okay, we're going to leave it there, and I'll have a think about what I want to record for the next episode, because this is just over 50 minutes, which is the maximum that I would want to do really for an episode. So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it if you got to the end of this episode, and if you keep coming back, that's brilliant. I very much appreciate it, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Thank you.